Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting video. Today we will tell you the story of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the second season from beginning to end. You can watch the first season through the link in the description. The film begins with Gwen's voice telling us about Miles and the events of the previous season. She is beating a drum while her other friends are also performing some music. She recalls her friendship with Peter Parker, who was very close to his family. Once Peter took a serum and turned into a lizard at a party, she had to kill him to save others. She learned later that it was Peter whom she killed. Her father saw her as Spider-Woman and thought she was Peter's murderer. Gwen is discussing Peter's murder with her father when they learn that a vulture has attacked the city. Gwen's father, Captain George Stacy, goes to deal with the situation, and Gwen follows him as Spider-Woman. She fights the vulture and attempts to subdue it, but she is outmatched. Suddenly, a portal appears, revealing Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. After some time, Miguel is forced to summon another Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew, and the three of them successfully subdue the vulture. George attempts to arrest Gwen and forces her to reveal her identity. After knowing that the Spider-Woman is actually his daughter, Gwen, George still wants to arrest her. Miguel captures George and presents Gwen with a wrist device that allows her to travel between universes. Gwen gives her father a hopeful look before joining Miguel and Jessica. In Miles' universe, Miles' parents are discussing him with his guidance counselor. A supervillain named The Spot attempts to steal money from an ATM, but Miles, disguised as Spider-Man, intervenes and stops him. His parents are waiting for him, and he goes to meet them after entangling The Spot in webs. Miles' parents are concerned during the meeting when they learn that he received a B in Spanish due to missing some classes. They also learn that he wishes to attend Princeton University's top physics program. Miles tries to persuade his parents to let him attend Princeton University. He flees after learning that the Spot has escaped, and Jefferson departs to apprehend the Spot. While fighting, they arrive at Alchemax, where the Spot informs him that he worked there as Dr. Jonathan. When the Spider People destroyed the Collider, he was inside and his body was infused with particles, causing his skin to turn white and portals to appear. He claims Miles was the cause of his infusion and rushes towards him, but he kicks his own butt through the final portal. Miles, disguised as Spider-Man, approaches his father and attempts to persuade him to let his son to do what he wants. The Spot attempts to enter different universes via his portals and eventually returns to his own. He decides to increase his energy in order to defeat Miles. Miles is busy picking out cakes for Jefferson's promotion party. He is late because he encounters many enemies on the way, and his cakes have lost their shape by the time he arrives at the party. His parents question him about the reason for his late arrival and chastise him. Miles leaves the party after his father yells at him and tells him he has been grounded for 2 months. Miles is in his room when Gwen appears through her portal, and the two are delighted to see each other. Gwen sees Miles' sketchbook and asks him to go out with her. They both flee in disguise, and Miles' father increases his grounding time to 3 months after learning of his escape. Miles and Gwen both swung across the city while conversing. Gwen tells Miles while sitting on a skyscraper that she always feels good when she talks to him. She tells him that in all the other universes, Gwen falls in love with Spider-Man, but it does not end well. Gwen and Miles return to the party where Miles' parents met Gwen, and they seem suspicious of her. Gwen has to leave soon due to some business, and Miles' mother attempts to talk to him. She asks him to go after Gwen, and he promises her that he will take care of himself while going outside. Miles follows Gwen to the location of the Spot. Gwen repeats the events that happened there and sees the Spot put himself into the Collider to get more portals and become more powerful. Jessica arrives and assigns Gwen the task of capturing the Spot, otherwise she will inform Miguel. She also asks Gwen to avoid Miles. Gwen departs for another universe, where the Spot resides in the city of Mumbattan, and Miles follows her. They both discover the Spot and are soon joined by another Spider-Man called Pavita Prabhakar. Pavita claims to be a high school student with a girlfriend named Gayatri. They track the Spot down to the Alchemix, where he activates the Collider and encircles them in a force field. Miles tries but fails to absorb the force field's energy. A British anti-establishment anarchist Spider-Man named Hobie Brown comes and joins them to stop the Spot from entering the Collider. They are unable to stop him, and the lab is destroyed as a result. The buildings begin to collide as the 4 Spider People save the others. Pavita holds a bus with the web that Gayatri is on, and Gayatri's father saves another little girl. Miles manages to save Gayathrie's father and the little girl from crushing under a bridge. Jessica then comes and tells the spider people that Miguel wants them at the headquarters. They all arrive at the headquarters, which is populated by hundreds of Spider-Men. Gwen gives Miles a wristband to keep him from glitching out. Miles and Gwen meet Miguel, who is managing the Spider Society. He is furious at them for failing to capture the Spot. Peter Parker, the Spider-Man who helped Miles last year, comes there and becomes happy to see Miles. He introduces his daughter, Mayday, to them and shows her pictures. Miguel then explains everything to Miles by displaying a web algorithm that contains information about every Spider-Man in the universe. He explains the things and events that are linked and tells him that these are canon events that bind their lives together and are required for every Spider-Man. Miguel says to Miles that Gayathrie's father's death was also a canon event and he should not save him. Now, Pavita's dimension is unraveling because Miles changed the story. Miguel reveals that he once broke the canon event and discovered a world where he had a family. His version of that world was killed and he replaced him, but many people, including his daughter, vanished as a result. Miles recalls a vision given to him by the Spot and realizes his father's life is in danger. He debates with the other Spider-Men, but Miguel persuades him they cannot do anything. Miles discovers that his father is going to die in 2 days. He insists on saving his father, but Miguel informs him that it is a sacrifice that every Spider-Man must make. When Miles tries to flee, Miguel traps him. He escapes after breaking the trap. Miguel sends all the spiders to catch him and stop him, but he evades all of them. Gwen pursues Miles, but he avoids her. Peter then approaches him and attempts to persuade him. Miguel tracks Miles down using Peter's watch and attacks him, but Miles manages to flee. They fight and Miguel tells Miles that he will never be a member of Spider Society because the spider that bit him came from another dimension. Miles believes Peter and Gwen betrayed him despite knowing the truth. He deactivates Miguel's suit and flees to the headquarters. Despite the presence of other spiders, Miles enters the headquarters and activates the Go Home machine. Miguel makes every effort to stop Miles, but in vain. When Gwen speaks up in support of Miles, Miguel uses the Go Home machine to transport her to her universe. Peter returns to his universe and reunites with Mary Jane. Miguel follows Miles with Jessica and Scarlet. Gwen tries to locate Miles, but her watch has been deactivated. She then returns home to find her father, George. They both talk and reconcile, and George gives her a packet left by Hobie containing a dimension watch made of stolen parts from the Spider Society. Gwen located Miles and approaches him using the watch. Miles enters his room and is discovered by his mother. He tells his mother that he is Spider-Man, but she does not believe him. Suddenly, Miles realizes that the Go Home machine has sent him to the dimension where the spider who bit him came from. Uncle Aaron then appears alive, and Miles learns that his father, Jefferson, has already been killed in this dimension. Someone attacks Miles and knocks him down. When he awakens, Aaron has bound him, and he informs him that Miles of this dimension is a prowler. The Spot gets ready to kill Jefferson, and Gwen teams up with Peter, Mayday, Hobie, and Pavita to rescue Miles. Miles's venom begins to charge as they rush to save him, and the movie ends.